I want to invite actually one of our special guests up before we continue with our lovely people. MPP Kristyn Wong-Tam, you're more than welcome to come and sit or stand and walk around, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. But a prominent member of our community, both the LGBTQIA+, as well as our Toronto community, to talk about why spaces like these really matter. And I know a lot of you are very aware of that, but please welcome our special guest.
Thank you very much, and it's wonderful to be here, Jules. I am incredibly honored to have been invited to your space and also to hear some of the stories that you've been sharing. And I can't tell you how delightful it is just to have you speak so frankly about your real authentic self and your experiences. It's a real honor, a real treat. I was standing in the back of the room and I got to hear a few of those stories, and I can tell you that some of it I can truly relate to. Jules is correct. I am a member of provincial parliament. I happen to represent an area of the city of Toronto called Toronto Centre. And if anyone has ever been to the Eaton Centre, you've been in my little patch. If you've been to the village, the gay village, you've been to my little patch of the city. And I'm also very happy to welcome you there, but I'm actually even happier that I traveled here. This space I would not have ever expected, because Kristyn and I were traveling, and I said, Kristyn, we're about to roll into a residential neighborhood. How can the drop-in be here? And then we parked, and I said, it looks like it's in a church. How can this affirming space be here? And then we walked in, and it's exactly that. You know, oftentimes our relationship, especially with places of worship as the queer community, it's not always going to be affirming. So to see this space open up to our community, it's a real delight. And I think that especially right now, in the time where we see so much anger and vitriol and sometimes violence and discrimination directed to the 2S LGBTQI+ community, more than ever, we need our faith communities standing with our queer and trans communities. This is the time where we need to see more of Dorothy's places exported, magnified, blown up all over the place, and same thing with Toby's. I want to be able to share a little bit of my own experience with you, and I want to make sure that I'm as accessible to you as possible. So my name is Kristyn Wong-Tam, and I am the member of provincial parliament for Toronto Centre. I'm also the official opposition critic for the Ontario NDP, and I have a few portfolios. One is I'm the critic for the Ministry of the Attorney General. Not that, it's meaty. It's meaty. I shouldn't say it's not exciting, but it is meaty. I am also the critic for the 2S LGBT community, which is very, very electric hot these days, largely because of what we are seeing with the rise of hate and vitriol in Ontario, Canada. And we know some of it is coming from abroad, so sometimes we can point to the South and say, look what's happening in the US, 500 individual pieces of legislation that has been tabled and introduced in various houses, lower houses and upper government houses, that are targeting 2S LGBT communities. That's you and me and our allies. Children being told that they can't have their identified gender affirmed, parents being forced to snitch on their children, school boards that are denouncing the flying of the rainbow flag. And we think it's on the south side of the border, but yet we know it's also happening here. My attendance tonight was a little bit tenuous because I was registered to speak at the York Catholic District School Board, where they are going to be debating right now, around 7 o'clock, on whether or not they should put up the rainbow flag. And my delegation, that's what they call it, the delegation to speak at the board, was canceled, largely because they said that we have enough information to make a decision. So that meant as a representative who registered to speak, I was told to stay home, which is why I'm here today. You're my home. We don't know what's going to happen at the York Catholic District School Board. We don't. There's a recommendation for them to raise the flag from their subcommittee because it's going to be helpful to their students, to the teachers, to the families, right? We know that's important. But we actually don't know what's going to happen tonight because the board, which is comprised of school board trustees, may make a different decision. So I know it really reinforces for me how high the stakes are, why it's so important that we stand up proud where we can, when we know it's safe to, and how we receive each other when we find out, when we disclose. And I just want to recognize that this is a very special group. I want to recognize that the work that the volunteers and the organizers do, because I know you're not making millions doing it. I know you're doing it because of love, and I know you're doing it because of community. And the backdrop I just described, and that's just a small little example of what's kind of going on in Ontario, including places like, Norwich, which has just voted their municipal council to ban rainbow flags from their street posts and any other public infrastructure. So that means that their municipality is not allowed to fly the rainbow banner anywhere. It's right here in Ontario. So I want to just recognize how critical your service is in South Scarborough, because not everybody can make it downtown. We all know that. But for the communities that are east of us, further east, you are it. I mean, there's a few other amazing places and organizations, but this is special. And what you have done to create this peer support space, designed by the community, for the community, is so important. I came out of the closet when I was 16 years old. And if someone told me, who's 16 that came out of the closet recently? Yeah? All right. So this might be your story. When I came out of the closet at age 16, I never thought that I could walk into what was my Baptist church, your United Church. I never thought in a million years that I could walk into my Baptist church and find space for me as a queer youth. What this community has created is so special. And I want to cherish you and honor you for your hard work, because it is hard. It's really hard. But I know you're doing it out of love, and you're doing it out of community. And I just want to let you know how deeply I appreciate that. And if you told me that 16-year-old Kristyn could come out of the closet and walk into their local church and be affirmed and supported and protected, I don't even know what I would have done. You would have saved me so many years of heartache, suicidal tendencies, feelings of depression and isolation. My friend talked about finding her voice. You would have helped me find my voice a lot sooner. So thank you. Thank you to Toby's place. Thank you to Dorothy's. Keep up the fantastic work. And I'm just here to support you. Thank you very much.